Hi, Andrew here from Harmony Music Center, and I wanted to do a video today on seventh chords. So we'll run through many of the open position seventh chords, and we'll skip over any chords that are bar chords. So to start out, we'll just go through the alphabet. To start out, we'll just do a regular A chord. And in this video, we'll touch on three different types of seventh chords. Minor seven chords, major seven chords, and dominant seven chords. I'm not going to get into the music theory in depth explaining the differences between those, but we'll cover the different ones and what they sound like. So starting with an A, just a regular A chord, then if we take the middle finger out so that we're fretting the second fret of the fourth string, the second fret of the second string, and we're leaving the third string open. And I like to use my second finger on the fourth string, third finger on the second string. Then we have an A7 chord. What you'll find is that when you just hear a chord like A7 or C7, that is a dominant seventh chord. It's not major or minor, it's called dominant. And so here's what an A7 sounds like, or an A dominant 7. Sounds different from the regular A chord. So that's A7. Now if we go again, we have just a regular A major chord. Now for an A minor chord, we're going to take our finger off of the second string, the B string, and we're going to fret the first fret of the second string. Now we have an A minor chord. And if we take our third finger off that A minor chord, leaving the third string open, now we have A minor 7. See, the regular A minor sounds like this, and the A minor 7 sounds like this. Difference is kind of subtle, but it's definitely there. That's an A minor 7. Now if we want to do A major 7, we go back to regular A major chord, and now we're going to again take the middle of our finger off the third string, the G string. This time, instead of having that string open, we're going to add our finger to the first fret. Now we have an A major 7 chord. So an A major chord sounds like this. A major 7. Very pretty chord. And the way that I fret this, I'm using my second finger on the fourth string, second fret, first finger on the third string, first fret, and third finger, ring finger, on the second string, second fret. A major 7. Now B major 7 and B minor 7 would be bar chords, but B7 or B dominant 7 is an open chord. And the way that that is played is the second finger on the second fret of the fifth string, A string, first finger, index finger, first fret of the fourth string, third finger on the second fret of the third string, and the pinky on the second fret of the first string. And that B7 sounds like this. Fairly common chord in lots of songs. Now moving on to C. Again, C minor 7 is going to be a bar chord, so we'll skip over that. Regular C major chord. Now to make the C7 chord, or C dominant 7, we're going to add the pinky on the third fret of the third string, the G string. For a C major 7, we make the regular C major chord. And the easiest way to make this C major 7 chord is just to take our index finger off that first fret of the second string. Now we have C major 7. Now moving on to D. Regular D major chord. And now if we want to make a D7, D dominant 7, that really is a little bit of a reversal. We're going to put our second finger, middle finger, on the third string, second fret, our third finger, ring finger, on the first string, second fret, and between those two, the first finger, index finger, is going to be on the first fret of the second string. And that's D7. D major 7 would be just barring those three strings, the first, second, and third string, and playing the D, the open D string. That's a D major 7. I guess you could also play that with 3 different fingers, just like an A chord. You would be moving an A chord down one string. That's D major 7. And then a D minor chord is going to be our second finger, middle finger, on the second fret of the third string, G string, and then barring the first 2 strings on the first fret, the first and second string, and then playing those bottom 4 strings starting with the open D. So that's D minor. So we have D7, D major 7, and D minor 7. And moving on to E, we just have the regular E major chord. Now to make an E7, E dominant 7, we can take off the ring finger from the 4th string, and now we have... If you play each note individually, you can hear the difference between the major chord and the dominant 7th. Here's the major and the 7th. Try to hear it on removing the third finger there on the 4th string is the difference. Again, it's a fairly subtle difference. Now the other thing that we can do with this E7 chord, we can add our pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. That gives the 7th tonality a little more prominence there, and it's easier to hear. And so you could ask the question, when would you add the pinky finger there and when would you not? It really is a song by song thing, and what fits and what sounds right in a given song. And what you'll see, the 7th note here, which is the 7th note of the E major scale, when we add the pinky, we're just adding another octave of that same note. And so that is E dominant 7. E major 7. Okay, we make a regular E major chord. Now we're going to do, this is an unusual and not a very common chord, but I'm going to show you the E major 7. Take your fingers off, put your ring finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and now your first finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string, D string, and your second finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. It's a pretty chord. Sometimes I do a little progression like this. E major 7, A major 7, it's a pretty sound. And let's see, so E minor 7. Okay, we make a regular E minor chord. Now the E minor 7 is played in a variety of ways in different songs. Sometimes the simplest way to make an E minor 7 is just to take your ring finger off the 4th string. And so you're just fretting the 5th string at the 2nd fret. A lot of times in the big open strumming of that chord, it's such a subtle difference that it's a little hard to hear. That's the regular E minor. Here's the E minor 7. So it's kind of hard to hear. Sometimes people will take that finger off, and once again they will add the pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Other times, sometimes Neil Young does this, you leave the regular E minor chord, but you add the 7th with that pinky. He does that in Heart of Gold. And then moving on to F, we have the regular F major chord. Everybody's first bar chord, barring the first 2 strings at the 1st fret. Now to make an F major 7, we do that same thing. We keep the middle finger and the ring finger in the same place on the 4th and 3rd string. We put our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and we leave the E string open. Playing the bottom 4 strings, and that is an F major 7. The other F7 chords are bar chords, so we won't go over that. So that is just covering a lot of the open position 7th chords. Here's a little progression that I like that goes from G to G7 and then C7. So G, G7, G to G7, C7, and then to D7. Enjoy! I'll see you soon.